Mean about this Blue Days and its growing style being a bit more of like a ground cover, so it's nice and low, which is why it's perfect for the front of a border or in a container. It's never going to impede on this beautiful braided tree or anything you have. So this could be front of the garden. Then you could have something a little bit taller. And then you could have, you know, kind of a shrub or a flowering shrub that would be, you know, in the back. But this color is what makes this plant so special. And I see we are already moving on to this beautiful peach braided hibiscus.
I was going to make this my pick of the flowers, but it's really hard when you have roses and then you have those other beautiful blue plants. But this is the star of the show. I've had my hibiscus plant for years and years and years. Maybe later I'll tell you the story of how in the hurricane I threw it away. I thought it was dead and it came back to life. Laying on its side, it started taking root again. These are amazing, and they grow everywhere in the country. I think the only place they don't grow is what, Hawaii?
No, they grow everywhere.
They grow everywhere, right? Yeah, because
well,
what am I saying?
Bring them inside.
Because you know they give you these things when you get off the plane. All right, so what's spectacular about these is not just the color, because this is the peach variety. It also has red and pink in it, and yellow inside. It's the size of these blossoms. If I hold up my hand, you can see these blossoms are huge. They're giant, and this is kind of a romantic plant, because what happens with it is that every time one blooms, at the end of the day, that one dies and falls off. But here's what you're going to get. You're getting an established 4.5 to 5 foot plant in a box. It's probably already going to have a dozen buds on it. It might even have a flower on it already.
Oh, yeah.
This is what you're getting right here for $69.95 normally. It's $100. It's the lowest price of the year. And if you can just afford one thing, this is something that's going to give back to you all year long.
I'm telling you what, and I can't wait for you to tell that story in a little bit. So listen, this was shipped to me yesterday, and I love that Leaf Petal always sends me their ship samples, our ship samples, the day before, so that it can be a true and accurate representation of what you will be getting. So first of all, let's just talk about how peach is about the most rare color in a garden, you know, along with that electric blue. But this is hand braided, and I'm just going to kind of come down here and show you what we call our ship sample. We've got this hand braided trunk. This is so special. It is a work of art, and this has taken years to create this. They started when they are just itty bitty babies, and then they slowly hand braid it.
And it's multiple plants, right? Is that how they do it?
Yep, there are
four different plants
in here. And sometimes we have multiple color ones, but I love this peach just because it's so special. So you can see it comes all the way up, and then it bursts into this amazing, amazing flock of these buds and the flowers. Now this one in particular has a gazillion little buds on it.
And they're all at different stages, which I love.
They only bloom for one day.
They only bloom one day. So you can see I got one here in the front. You see these two right here? Those are just starting to come out. There's a baby one right where my thumb is, right there. And then they go to this stage, and then they kind of go to that stage. And then finally they open up, and remember, that is their last stage, and this will last one day, and then it'll fall out, and then more will start to grow. And I love it because every day you go out there's more flowers.
Yes. I mean, and listen, this is like a tropical paradise, no matter where you are in the country. Now, this is a little bit different than our hardy hibiscus, and the hardy hibiscus you can leave outside. This is, in fact, a tropical hibiscus. So what you're gonna need to do is bring it inside to overwinter it, and it will still continue to bloom inside your house. What I would do is I would get it home, I would put it into an 18-inch pot, give it some water, because this is a tropical plant, so make sure it's getting lots of water, and then before you get that first frost, you're gonna take it inside. You can even put it in the garage, right? We just don't want it to get any frost on it.
Right.
And then it's gonna last you forever.
You know what? I will tell you this. Out of all the plants that I own, this one is actually the easiest and the hardiest. The story I was going to tell you is not this past year where we had the bad hurricanes, but I'm talking about 4 or 5 years ago we had a hurricane. It blew off the deck. I was running around. I didn't have time to tie everything down. It blew off the deck. It was on its side. It had gotten a lot of damage, and I looked at it, I'm like, it's done. So I took it. I left it in the pot. I took it, and I threw it behind some palm trees, laying on its side.
It was trash.
I was going to figure out a day to put it on the curb, and I was like, I didn't want to look at it. I put it over there. About 2 weeks later, because it was in an area where it got water because my neighbor's house. And I looked at it, and the dang thing was growing. It was coming back, and it had flowers on it. So I picked it back up, and I actually planted it, and it's still alive in my backyard, planted. So it is a very, very rugged, tough plant that's going to give back so much. And every time you go out there, it'll make you smile. I love it. This is the after.
Yes.
So I would say this is almost the size of mine. Mine's a little bit bigger. Mine's about 5 or 6 years old.
I'm thinking this is at least third year.
Yeah, probably third year.
But even like this, come on.
It's already a gorgeous. It's probably the biggest plant you'll have, and I love how it comes. It comes in a very long rectangular box.
Yeah.
And you got to get it out of there quick and get it out of the bucket and put it in. Probably, I would put it in a 16 18, or a 20.
Yeah.
18,
16, 18,
yeah.
Yep. Well, because, the bigger the container you have, you guys, the bigger the root structure can get. But just be realistic, because if you live in an area where you get a frost or you get a freeze, you are going to have to overwinter it either inside or in your garage. But I wanted to give you a little tip real quick, because part of the beauty of this plant, if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to kind of come over here. Part of the beauty of this plant is, in fact, this gorgeous braiding. And look at the way the braiding even matures as it grows up. Now, I'm not sure if you can see what I'm pointing at right here, but it's a little bit of the foliage that is starting to kind of pop up within this braiding. What you want to do, you guys, pull it off, because otherwise you're going to start to have, little pieces of foliage coming out. We don't want that. We want all of the energy to come up into the beautiful top of the tree and not be wasted on those little leaves that are starting to form on that braiding. This is amazing. I love it. This is rare. This is special. And again, it's a testament to what we bring you with Leaf and Petal. Good luck finding this anywhere. And I love that gardening is so competitive. We want to have the special stuff.
Yeah, well, this is the thing that everybody is going to comment on when they drive by your house. If it's out on your porch, if you're lucky enough to have a pool or a water feature, they're fantastic out there as well. They grow in every state, and they just grow, 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 grow. If you want to in the winter months, you can bring it inside if you have it in a pot, and you can put it in a pretty well lit area, and it'll continue to thrive. I always keep mine in a pot just because sometimes I like to move it around as well. But I did plant the last one only because I was like, you know what? This thing is so durable. I'm going to put it in a spot where it grows, and it's right where you come down off the porch. It's beautiful. Everybody loves it.
You can do that in Florida. For a lot of people, they can't do that.
No.
Are we going to do we have time for the fertilizer?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. Yep. So this is a really big step and an affordable way to make sure that your plants are going to grow. By the way, on the hibiscus, that's the lowest price we're going to do.